What's up, guys? Saltiest Robot with another new shirt for you. Tonight, let's get Franz in here. Let's see if this works. What up, guys? The saltiest, that's me. Your saltiest, average table salt, I guess. Your saltiest. Am I like a grinder? Fresh. Yo, what up, new type? Squirtle, I keep accepting. I think there's a little bit of a lag. Hold on. Oh, we're good. Let's try again. We got a connection. Yo, what up? There we go.
Yo.
What up?
How's it going, dude?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. I have my phone and my iPad on, so I don't know if that like messed with my Instagram, but let me turn my volume up real quick.
Okay.
All right. How's it
What's
going,
good?
dude?
It's good, man. It's good. I was thinking about you today actually because all the snow.
Yeah, I've actually my Instagram is blowing up with all the resorts like posting like, oh, we got snow and stuff, like season's around the corner. But I'm actually trying to like hunker down and like focus on my Cerulean entry because it's been like, I don't know, man, like the start of the Cerulean project, like you already know, like I sprained my finger like literally the day before the Cerulean project started, like on August 31st. So like that put back my SCGMC entry by about like 2 weeks. So I had to like finish that, and then I started climbing and things like that. So now it's like 2.5 weeks till the deadline. So I'm trying to like manage my time better, but I think I'll be able to complete it on time. We'll see.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm right there with you. I need to manage it better too. I've got like a laundry list in my notebook right now to finish of just like one minute task after another.
Yeah. Because I'm leaving to like Chicago tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
I literally have like every day planned out. Like, okay, I got to get back. I got to do all the scribing. I got to like prime and all that stuff and take photos. Like it's all scheduled. So
Nice.
probably not.
That'll be good.
But it is what it is.
Well, it's kind of leads into something you wanted to talk about, and you're kind of talking about taking a break, right?
Yeah. So I've pretty much been like nonstop building since COVID started. So March 2020. And yeah, like I was just like building Gunpla like nonstop, like working, get off work, build Gunpla, work, get off work, build Gunpla, go to sleep. And I wasn't comfortable like going back to my regular lifestyle of like going to the gym and going climbing and things like that because of COVID. So I was pretty much just going at it for a whole like a year and a half. Recently I started lifting again and going climbing, and it's definitely made me feel happier.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah, the physical ties into the mental. And it's definitely given me more like a refreshing take on Gunpla. So, yeah.
That's cool. And kind of like what you want to do with it, or like where, what type of place it has in your life, I guess, or.
Yeah, I mean, like I've noticed that I've been lifting for or working out for like the last almost decade. So I feel like working out ties into my state of mind, my mental like happiness. And I've noticed that when I like take a break from going to the gym or doing any type of physical activity, I don't really feel like myself. I don't feel like I've achieved anything. I don't feel happy. And so that's why I kind of wanted to start working out again and not just like strictly do Gunpla, because otherwise I would just burn out which I'm pretty
Yeah.
much like at that point where I'm pretty burned out. So I'm hoping to take a break, for a couple weeks, maybe even like a month, and then just come back to it and hopefully get that same excitement I had when I first started.
Yeah, I mean, I think naturally whenever you're kind of ready to come back to it, that'll just kind of happen. And I'm
Yeah.
with you on physical activity really being key to my overall well-being and happiness and kind of sense of accomplishment and things like that, because it's been a pretty integral part of my life for
Yeah. I mean,
pretty
you
much
and I,
all of my life. So
we
yeah,
like share almost the same hobbies, right? So like you and I go snowboarding, we both climb, we're doing pretty much like some of the same workouts. So I
yeah,
imagine
exactly.
our
And
everydays look similar.
yeah, and you know how time consuming that can be. And
Yeah.
you know how time consuming preseason workout can be,
Right.
postseason workout. And just like
Right.
have we transition and all these things. And yeah, it gives a real sense of gratification, I think, especially climbing and stuff like that, because you have these real measurable kind
Yeah.
of notches to tick off. And so it's
Right.
something that's really tangible.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking
Nice.
at all the comments and stuff. Oh, I can't look at them. Like I can't scroll. Sorry, this is my first time
Is
on
yours locked
Instagram
out too?
Live.
Yeah, it happens to people. So apparently New Type's excited because you're gonna leave room for other people to win. Uh,
Yeah, so I'm actually
Corvus
yeah, so I'm
Corvus
going to
says greetings. Yeah.
Chicago, and I'm actually going to hang out with Joshua Lee, new
Oh,
type of,
nice.
and try to convince him to submit his entry for a Cerulean project.
I was
Um,
trying to convince him the other night too. I'm glad you're gonna work on him a bit about that.
yeah, I'm flying all the way to Chicago just to tell him.
Just to tell him, you're like,
Yeah,
you're gonna enter this in. Like,
yeah,
I know he's been holding out on me. Usually I get some sneak peeks and I haven't seen anything. So
yeah.
I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. Is that your first time to Chicago?
No, I actually went, I think like 7 years ago. I was still a college student, so I didn't have money, I didn't have time. I kind of just like went and just like did whatever. But this time I'm actually gonna go visit some friends, so it'll be
Nice.
an interesting, yeah, a little interesting experience.
That's awesome. Is this well, you went to Hawaii too. So this is kind of like your first time traveling
Yeah,
commercially.
yeah, second time traveling since Hawaii, but
Okay.
it so happened that way. Yeah,
Yeah. I'm still like, I still really want to come to California in November. So we'll see what happens.
man, I really hope you come, and everybody in this chat. I hope all you guys come to SCGMC so we could all just hang out, talk about whatever, just chill. Yeah,
Yep. Catch up.
yeah.
Yeah. Corvus also regular exercise for him has a huge impact on his anxiety, depression, ADHD.
Okay.
So he's glad to hear you're back into the flow of it.
Yeah, yeah.
How's your finger been?
Good. Yeah, it was a little frustrating. I mean, you know how injuries go. It was frustrating.
Especially digits. Digits are tough, man. Like those,
Yeah,
they are very frustrating.
and the thing, like the annoying thing was, is that like, okay, I can't climb, which is like my main focus right now, but I also couldn't like build, right? So I can't
Yeah.
like, I can't scribe because I can't hold the piece, right? Or like I can't like use my airbrush or whatever it is. So I was just like, all right, well, I guess I'm just gonna watch TV, because that's like pretty much all I did for like 2 weeks, and I did like go to the gym and stuff, but it wasn't like I didn't get the same fulfillment I would
Yeah.
have, obviously. Yeah.
So like your hobby driven lifestyle really impacts kind of your mental health and overall well being.
Yeah. So I guess we could just go right into it. So, um, yeah, I've realized, and I think it started from last year. So you had invited me to this ruling project. It was the first time like it ever happened, and you were posting like on a weekly basis, like different topics, different concepts, just like how you are now. And one of the topics that really spoke to me was flow. So for those that are in this chat watching, so flow is basically a state of mind where you're hyper focused and fully immersed in an activity or a hobby or craft, whatever it is. So for everybody in this chat, I'm sure it's gunpla, but for me, I have other hobbies such as snowboarding, climbing, and skateboarding. I've realized that all of these hobbies I've been doing since I was a kid, and it's actually helped me. It's actually helped been a coping mechanism for a lot of the things that I've experienced in my life. So, as early as being like in middle school and like in high school, like I found myself in depression and deep depression and worse than that. And I've noticed that I've used, my hobbies as kind of a safe, not really a safety net. I don't want to call it a safety net, but kind of just like a coping mechanism to help me get through different stages, different problems, so that I can channel that negativity, come back, feel more reflective, and get through whatever that was. And because of like doing that my whole life, I feel like that's why I have so many hobbies. Like that's why I prioritize my hobbies and how I've been able to meet so many people in different, among all these hobbies. And
Yeah, they're so integral to you, and kind of that
yeah,
outlet, having that, because you talk about flow, and flow's this really amazing sensation that happens when we
mm-hmm.
meet ability and challenge, right? And it
Mm-hmm.
just kind of like balances out. And as
Mm-hmm.
we get more and more proficient in it, the stakes get higher, like to achieve that gets higher. But for me, and I don't know if this is for you, doing it for so long and finding those higher levels of flow as your experience grows is really amazing. Like
Mm-hmm.
time slows down, like
Yeah,
things just reality changes, and it's beautiful. Like,
yeah, yeah, exactly. But I've noticed that in some cases, like I'm so dedicated to the craft, like I literally get like tunnel vision.
oh yeah,
So that would be the con of, I guess, flow, is I get too into it, and it starts to like bleed into my like other aspects of my life, like my relationships and friendships and things like that. But I mean, overall, I think it's been very beneficial to my life, and I feel like I wouldn't be where I am today without that whole concept, without being able to turn to my hobbies and face life with greater strength, and better mental health. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Well, it was amazing that it like spoke to you so much. I was really excited when you mentioned that last year. You're like, dude, this is it, and it just really kind of,
Resonated.
yeah, resonated with you. And I was like, yes, like this is the type of experience that I'm really excited to see and happy to see.
Yeah.
And talking with you about it and things like that was just so interesting, and like just inspiring to hear. It was really cool, and like we were able to connect, and it was great. Like I really appreciate it, like you
Yeah.
sharing that,
Yeah. Thanks for,
and being a part of the project. Like,
yeah, dude. I remember like this time last year, like you messaged me on Instagram. Like I barely even knew you, and you just like
yeah,
messaged me and you're like, hey, you like I love your work. Like, do you want to be part of this exhibition called Cerulean Project? It's about mental health and X, Y, and Z. And I was like, I'm super down. Like that all speaks to me. And then I was like, I'm in a tough position right now. And I guess it's probably like the only piece of personal information I'm gonna say. But this time last year, you remember my dad? Yeah.
yep,
So anyone in this chat, my dad had a heart attack last year, back in September, and it was like a week before Devin reached out to me to be part of the Cerulean project, and I was like, I would love to be part of your project, but I'm kind of going through some really tough things with my family right now, and like all the logistics that comes with that. Um, but during COVID, and this was like in September of 2020, so COVID was very much
raging.
a thing as it is right now. Except people were scared, obviously. And so I wasn't able to be there physically. Like myself and my family weren't there, like allowed to be there for, COVID policies. So
Yeah,
I found myself just like chilling at home and just like thinking about like the worst case scenarios and things like that. And like I literally could not do anything except for like wait for a text from my mom. And so during that time, I was like, well, I guess I'll just do this Cerulean project, right? Because there's nothing else to do, and
yeah,
and I'm like, and I can't go outside, I can't really do anything, so I devoted like all of my time and like effort and my whole being to like my entry for Cerulean project, and honestly, like that did so much for me, like in that 1 month or 2 month time period, like. I don't think I ever told you this, Devin, but it did so much for me. Like just
oh
it's
dude,
like the timing couldn't have been better, you know? And so during that time, I was like so depressed and like so sad. And I think my mom and dad are actually in this chat somewhere, but because of like the Cerulean project, I was able to like channel, like I said, like that depression and like negativity to something positive. And that's why I'm like super stoked like that I'm here again, that I'm here like being interviewed with you, and that we're here for like a second year. And I'm stoked that there's so many more people like involved. Like we have like what 100 plus
Yeah.
registrants, or you know, people registered for this. Like that's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Like the book was like this thin when we printed it. I remember, and now you're like posting. You're like, dude, we need 2 books. Like
It's gonna
this.
be
Yeah, that's
3 times
crazy.
as thick. Like it's
Yeah,
insane. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, wow, dude. I mean, thank you so much for sharing that. Like, I'm so honored that that helped you, dude, and I'm so happy to hear that that was able to help you. I mean, um, you reached out to me and we spoke during that time and stuff like that, and I had an idea, but wow, man, I'm really I'm really grateful. Thank you,
Thanks for the opportunity. Oh, there he
dude.
is. Hey, Dad.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it was a beautiful build. You that won an award too, right?
Yeah, so subsequently I entered it into SCGMC and it placed first. So yeah, I like literally everything that was going on in that period, I just like manifested it into this build.
Just it was
Yeah,
insane. It was
all
gorgeous.
my emotions, yeah. So I'm glad it did something.
I think it did a lot. You know, it inspired a lot of people. A lot of people were talking about it, and you know, just seeing you grow, it garnered you a lot of attention to see people, so people could see your art, which was really amazing.
Mhm.
And so it was just great to see and just kind of see how the year progressed for you as a builder and as an artist. It was really fantastic.
Yeah, it definitely opened a lot of doors and opportunities like in the span of 1 year. And
Yeah,
just like knowing that I'm really excited for like whatever's to come in the next year, you know.
yeah. Well, it's going to be every year, so I'm excited to hopefully have you back every year and hopefully do this some more. And a lot of people have been really interested in kind of sharing, and this has been these talks have been inspirational to the community too, where people are like, hey, I want to do that next year. I want to share something. So
Yeah,
thank you for being a part of this and coming and spending some time on here.
no problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, this was a resource that helped you. Were there any other resources that helped you when you were growing up, or was it mainly just your outlets and your hobbies?
Unfortunately, I didn't have resources. That's the truth. It was mainly my hobbies and my friends and my partners at the time.
Yeah,
Um, I think growing up, like especially as an Asian American and you know the child of Asian immigrants, like we don't really talk about mental health. We don't talk about therapy, things like that. Like that doesn't like cross your mind. And even if it did, you don't talk about it. You know what
yeah,
I mean? It's just like you got to figure it out. Like just do good, whatever, you know. Um, and so because of that, I feel like this speaks for a lot of people, not just like Asian Americans, but you know, for other people, is that like we had to kind of just like put on a mask and deal with the issues. And for everyone that's ever done that, that doesn't last long. Like you break.
uh,
You
it's
break.
hard.
Yeah.
It's
And not
really
only
hard
do
to
you
do that.
break, is that you also it also affects all of your friends and the people you love. And so I think there was a point in time in college, I think that happened to me when I realized that. Um, but I think I'm in a better place now, and I feel like I've been able to open myself to friends and my girlfriend and my family. I've noticed that like I've spoken to my family a lot more over the course of like the last year or two about some of the things that we've been talking about, where previously all of us like never spoke about it and we were kind of all just like dealing with it in our own ways.
Yeah,
Or we felt like burdensome, like, oh, I don't want to bother this person, right? But I feel like being able to communicate these things with like the people you love and the people you appreciate in your life, you don't feel so alone. And I
right.
think by doing that, I think I've been able to, use that kind of as an outlet over the past couple of years and not just rely solely on my hobbies to get me through things. Because the hobby stuff, like, yeah, it puts you in a state of flow, but in some cases you don't really reflect or allow yourself to talk about those problems. So that would be like the downside of being so driven by the hobbies, that you don't really talk about the problems. So yeah, I mean, in terms of resources, I would just say it'd be my friends and family.
Yeah. How did you find being able to kind of cross that bridge and talking with your family more this year, kind of about uh, things you were going through and things you were struggling with and stuff like that? Was there kind of a catalyst, or because a couple of people in here have commented when you said that, you know, your family, it's difficult to, if not ever spoken about, kind of thing. So
I think as the circumstances got worse, particularly with my dad's health, we started to be more vocal. Like, hey guys, like, we got to rely on each other. Like, we got to talk to each other. Like, we are literally the only people we have, you know. And I have three siblings, right? So there's four of us. And at the end of the day, it's like, you know, you'll friends will, well, hopefully not, but friends will come and go, and you know they're dealing with other things. But you know, family is will always be forever, right? So I try to establish that, you know, with my siblings, and anything that we go through moving forward, we vocalize how we feel about it, and by doing so, I've been able to connect with them over the last like year and a half, like I said, about some of the issues that we're going through right now. So
that's awesome. That's awesome to hear, and I hope it's inspirational to some of the people who are watching and maybe struggling with the same thing. Is because that can be really difficult to cross the bridge, especially when the family doesn't really, it's just not really spoken about. Like, how do you talk about something that's just really kind of almost taboo, right? Like, it's just,
yeah, it honestly feels taboo. Is that like, you know, in some, I don't know how the dynamic is in other people's families, but you know, in my family, it's like, oh, we just don't talk about that. You know what I mean? Like, we're not very like emotional, like, you know, like super bond. You know, we're kind of just
yeah,
like do your thing, you know, work hard, and like that's it. You know, and so for us to like connect on a deeper emotional level is like really interesting. You know. But I urge anybody that is experienced the exact same thing is to just reach out, because before you know it, you'll be much older. You know, like I'm only 20, like in my 20s, right? And I can imagine like in my 30s or 40s and like having to deal with the same issues, but not having that tie.
it's tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough. As somebody who's in their 40s, it's definitely it's tough to have that, or essentially kind of a lack of community
Right.
when family's not really involved, or it's really strained.
Yeah.
And we might not agree with our family on things, but being able to openly and honestly and safely share kind of what you're
Hmm.
going through and being heard is really important.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. I
So
mean, it
I'm glad
also
you're able to kind
applies
of
to
do that
like,
now.
yeah, I mean, this also applies to like friendships, like I've been just going through a lot of like fallouts and things like that. Even things like related to work or whatever it is, you know,
Yeah.
and being able to just like communicate with people. I think that's like the number one thing, is just like opening up to someone. It doesn't necessarily have to be a therapist, just like someone that you trust and someone you can confide in, you know, and not just like bottle it in, because
Yeah,
yeah, that mask will break. Promise you.
it will. And sometimes, you know, like you said, you just need somebody to listen, like not
Yeah.
necessarily give an answer or a solution, but
Mhm.
maybe just listen and agree that it sucks, or say, have you considered this or anything like that? And as long as it's a safe, comfortable space to do it in, then I don't think there's really, you know, anything that can go wrong.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to help. So I'm
Hmm.
glad that's worked for you.
Yeah. I mean, I've told you like some stuff over the course of the last year, and that's been helpful. You know,
Yeah.
like sometimes it's like easy and beneficial to tell someone that's kind of a stranger. I'm not saying you're a stranger, but like in an essence, like you
No,
are
I get you. Yeah.
someone new, you right? So it's, yeah, sometimes it's easier to tell someone that you don't like, you haven't known for a while, right?
Yep.
So
Well, it doesn't have like a real direct connection to your life,
exactly.
and something that could, um, you know, just potentially kind of be something that you've got to oh, I told this person this every time
Mhm.
you see them and things like that. It's nice
Yeah,
when you can kind of be able to confine somebody that has distance from kind of what your everyday circle or operation is. So,
exactly.
and I think that's
Well, yeah, you got it.
and I think it's a really nice part about this community. And I think you even talk about that is just like, don't be afraid to ask questions, of people that you admire or that you meet here. Like, and I think
Hmm.
that kind of goes the same for talking and stuff like that. Like if you feel comfortable or, even with the Cerulean, I get a lot of personal messages where people are like, I'm dealing with this. And I'm just like, cool, and I'm just here to listen kind of thing. And it's really, I'm glad it can help and provide some sense of relief. Because you're right, like it's so hard when you have these things to bottle them up and to wear a mask all day that
Hmm.
everything's fine when you're really kind of just internally just dealing with something.
Yeah, yeah, completely agree.
So yeah, and just I think trying to put a name on it, I think too really helps. And I'm hoping with the Cerulean this year that's helped. And it's tough not to do so much of an info dump every week, but I
Yeah,
guess I'm getting better. We'll see. That
yeah.
alone is going to be a book
No,
in
I mean
itself.
like your weekly posts are super helpful. Like I found last year's helpful, and I think that the concepts will speak to somebody, right?
Yeah, they
Um,
will, and that's kind of what they're
me.
designed to do. It's just for anyone and everyone who just it resonates with in some fashion.
Yeah.
And it might not necessarily be you that's dealing with it. It could be somebody that
Mhm.
and you're like, oh, I recognize that now that they might be struggling with this.
Yeah, exactly. I think like the most important thing about these topics is that like for some people they don't even know what it is, right? Like they're
Yeah,
experiencing it but they don't know what it is. And so when you talk about it and they read the description like this is it, right? And so that helps them to identify it and then figure it out from there.
yep.
Yeah.
Well, and like you were able to recognize your depression coming back and things like that with the
Hmm.
lockdown and things
Hmm.
like that. So, being able to recognize those, you still might suffer from it in some way, but you're able to then actively work and be like, okay, like I know I'm going to come out of this at some point, or I've been able to identify it. And
Yeah.
for me, it's been the change of the seasons has been really tough for the last few weeks. And so I've really had to maintain keeping a light on and things like that. But
Yeah.
once winter hits, it's great. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. You and I both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll be able to get to snowboard this year.
I hope so too, and I hope that I'm able to make it out to Utah because it would be really cool to chat with you and go riding, spend some time at the resort and just kick it.
For sure. I'd have to make a list of like your top down and then just like figure out which ones we could go to within the span.
Yeah.
Do like 4 resorts in 4 days kind of thing.
Yeah, that would be amazing. It's just the thing is that like before like I would go to Utah because my sister lived there during the winter, but now that she's like hunkered down in San Diego, um, that like eliminates the housing and the cars and things like that. So logistically, it's like even crazier now. So now I got to figure that out if I were to go, come visit you. Yeah.
Well, we've got extra room, so we'll probably just do a COVID test and then we'll just be a pod for a few days
If you wouldn't
and kind
mind,
of do
sick.
it that way.
Yeah.
And then we'll go. I think last time my buddy was out here, we did Snowbird, Brighton, Snow Basin
Awesome.
in 3 days. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it was a good trip. We did Solitude also.
Nice.
Solitude's a little one to go cruise, but like the Bird's epic. You got to do the Bird.
Yeah. Solitude, I remember
You
it
know,
being
like
like very open space, like mammoth style type of writing.
yeah, it's
Um,
all like outside. Like if they
yeah.
drop the rope,
Yeah.
Solitude becomes really cool. Like
Yeah.
Fantasy Ridge is probably one of the best hikes out here.
Yeah, I just remember like doing a lot of traversing out in solitude and just like
Yep.
tree runs and things like that. It was really sick. Same
Yeah,
thing.
you're probably in Honeycomb, the Honeycomb
Yeah.
Canyon. Yep.
Hmm.
There'd be dragons and Black Forest are like my stashes.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's all good. It's all pines. It's on the east facing or west facing slope, so
Nice.
it's all
Yeah, that's
part.
the reason.
It's
Like, I really want to like go ride with you, is because you're local, so you know all the spots, all the little powder stashes and things like that. And so maybe
yeah.
one
Everybody's got their spots out here, so we'll definitely go. And yeah,
Cerulean meet up in Utah. That's funny.
that'd be amazing. Yep. Oh, Corvus knows Snowbird and Brighton. He was out here too. He lived in Sandy for a while.
Some old man
The
shredding.
Alpine board.
Old man shredding. Come on, man. You're not that old.
We're not old, dude. You and I are like the same age.
Yeah.
We'll
But
we'll
maybe one
demo.
day, like if Cerulean gets big enough, maybe we start having conventions. You have conventions, like it extends beyond like the social media platform, and we have like in-person things. Who knows? I don't
That'd
know.
be amazing. Like
Yeah.
a like a summit, a
Yeah.
cerulean
Exactly.
summit.
Yeah. That would be
Everybody
really.
comes out. We'll like put everybody up at Powder Mountain or something.
Yeah, and
That
just
would be dope.
exhibition on the side. People bring in their work similar to like competitions and things like that. It doesn't have to be a competition, I'm saying, but just like an in-person exhibition.
I want to do an in-person exhibition. I'd really
Yeah.
like to set up like an art gallery.
Yeah.
Maybe do it in Park City, and then everybody could crash in Park City, and there'd be Park City and the canyons for them to go to and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Um,
That'd be a
or
dream.
just Salt Lake's like a convention town, so
Yeah.
doing conventions out here or some sort
Yeah.
of summit would be pretty easy. But yeah, Park City would be the closest to the slopes to that. I like that idea. I think that could be really cool because I definitely want to do like an
Yeah.
in-person art exhibit of people's work and stuff. I think that would be really awesome to do. So I like that. I think we're gonna have to.
I'm calling it now. I foresee it in the future that this is going to happen in time, if you want it to
Yeah.
happen.
Oh yeah. No, I'm down. Corvus is calling it Cerulean Summit 2022. Yeah, Corvus, you're 2 years older than me. You're not an old man. And if you feel like an old man, then we need to put you on a newer board. That's what I would say. If you feel like an old man on your old Alpine board, let's put you on like a wide like a pig.
That's funny. Wait till you see my fat foot. Nice. But
Well,
yeah.
dude, thank you so much for joining us. I could talk all night about snowboarding. I'm really excited about it right now. So I won't take up any more. I really appreciate you joining and sharing. This project's been really special. Having you involved makes it all the more special. So I really appreciate it.
Are you almost done with your entry? I feel like you have like multiple entries like you did last year.
That was kind of like the ideal plan that I had because I had a lot of fun with that last year. But no, I'm pretty laundry list. Like my building's almost done. I'm already almost ready to construct it. I built all the skylights today, the cable railings.
Nice.
Yeah, I need to put the decals on my mech, but with the snow, I've just been kind of waiting. It's supposed to get back to 60 next week, so.
Oof.
But I need to do that. It's close. It's just a lot of final detail work.
Yeah. Home stretch. We only have like 3 weeks, I think. 2 weeks.
2+ kind of thing. Yeah, I think we're 15 days, 16 days.
Yeah.
17. There's 31 days in October. 17 days.
There are 29 days in October.
Oh yeah, so we only have.
Oh, sorry, 31 days. My bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, so 17 days. Yeah, 17 days. Yeah, it's definitely enough. I've got all 10 of the 1/72 figures painted already too, so I feel good about that.
Nice. Yeah, like the last 3 days, I was just scribing and doing crazy mods like every day, like in between like break sessions at work, after work, before the gym, after the gym, just like trying to hustle as much as I can. You can't see the stuff; it's like literally right there. But everything. How
you feeling about it?
I feel better about it because I was just like, oh shit, like I don't have enough time. Like I don't think I'm gonna finish in time. So I was just like grinding the last like 3 to 4 days. But everything's done. I just need to get to painting and decals, panel lining and all that stuff.
Nice.
So the plan was to just like put myself in a good position, and then when I come back from Chicago next week, I'll have enough time to finish it and take photos because
awesome.
I hate rushing projects.
Yeah,
especially if you want it to
feeling.
like, you want it to be exactly how you want it to be, and I know that if I were to finish it and it's anything less than I would want it to be, like it would just eat me up, and yeah. So
that's I'm with you. That's totally how I've been feeling. Like I'm like, oh, do I really need this wall? And I'm like, you're gonna kick yourself. You're gonna kick yourself if you don't do this like little piece. Like
yeah.
So I'm with you on it, man. It's
definitely for you.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to like really be invested in something and Be proud of this, dude. Some of the entries are so insane.
Are they?
I can't wait to show them. Yeah,
Not.
I've gotten a good amount of uploads, so we'll see. And then yeah, one or two books. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
If we get over 80 entries, we'll be going to two books.
80 entries. What was the original number of people that registered? Was it like 100 something, or what was it? I don't
We're
remember.
at 120 people.
Jesus.
Yeah, it quadrupled.
Dang.
It's insane. Yeah. So if we have 120 people, we're definitely going to have two books because that's like
Mm-hmm.
300 pages just alone in that.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of the mental health stuff, since that's long, that's
Yeah.
going to go in there too. So, but
Yeah.
80. I think I measured it last time. If we have 80 people, it gives me enough room to get the mental health in one book. So we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll cross that bridge. It's going to be a hustle for me if all of a sudden.
Yeah. Because what's your
I
like
wait.
line for publishing it and getting it out? Like January?
My goal right now is who I'm working with can do pretty close turnaround. That's why I'm kind of sticking with this one book, two book versus switching to somebody who could just do any size of book.
Mm.
Is because I know this printer that I've worked with, they can get a quick turnaround. So ultimately, if I can basically get done files by like, let's say the first week of November and the first week of November, ideally I'd basically have books in hand by the first week of December so I could
Wow.
get them in the mail by Christmas for people.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So they had really quick turnaround last time. So that's kind of like my big thing is I'm going to just start basically filling the book now with entries
Yeah.
as they come in.
Yeah. Smart.
And then, so then, if I wake up November 1st and all 120 people have uploaded images, it's
Yeah.
not too hard to then split that into two books because that'll need, two table of contents and everything's got to be duplicated at that point. And then I'll have to look at like a belly band and
Yeah. Yeah. The ones that you posted on your story, maybe I don't know if it was your story, but on your feed, but they look really nice.
you like those?
Yeah, they look really
Awesome.
sick. Similar quality to like last year's book. So anyone that does have last year's book, it's high quality, paper wise, image resolution, things like that. So I'm really excited for what's to come. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really too. I'm gonna include a bunch of stickers with it and stuff like that when it gets shipped out. So I'll do pre-orders and then I'll have some overage just for people who miss pre-orders and things like that. But
Mhm.
I don't know how many over I can actually afford yet. So we'll see all
Yeah.
when we get to the pricing. I've roughly priced it out, so will definitely be way more affordable than they were last year.
Nice.
But twice as thick kind of thing. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited about that.
Yeah. I mean, I would pay top dollar for it. I mean, it's like it's featuring so many people's work, and it's like
It's
every single page is so like special, you know what I mean? It's like dedicated to that person, then you flip and it's like a
yeah,
completely different person, like that's
completely
amazing.
different. They get their own big feature.
Yeah.
You get this story. It's really immersive. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really happy that it was like so well received and people really liked that format because I wanted to really, again, this Cerulean project wouldn't be the Cerulean project without all of you guys. And so I really want to celebrate everybody's work
Yeah.
and just have this really beautiful experience that people could be like, holy shit, like,
Yeah.
really? Like,
Yeah.
and this is you? Like, this,
Yeah.
like, and just people were blown away by it. And then, at the end they can revisit it or even just be like, oh, and wait, they had mental health stuff? And you're like, yeah. And
Mhm.
like, and that again might be an opportunity where people then can have a further conversation with somebody who might not have ever
Right.
discussed mental health.
Yeah, the tool that's the cool thing about the book is that it is a tool, you know what I mean? Like all the stuff that you post on your Instagram is all there. It's all like memorialized in a book. And like I myself, I find myself like opening it up and like reading certain topics to kind of just remind myself like here are some of the things that you may be going through or some of the things that people are going through and you can identify and maybe help them out in some way or another. So
Yeah. Well, I'm really glad to hear that because my goal is really to just make it as approachable and as easy for people to just kind of pick up and use. because they're complex topics and things like
They
that.
are.
So kind of making it something that's a little bit easier and more approachable.
Yeah.
And like you said, a tool was really my goal with it. So that's great to hear.
Yeah. I'm super hyped. I can't wait for it to come out. Maybe get
Yeah.
a few books from my family. Hopefully it helps them too.
I'm sure it will, man. I got my whole family books last year, so they'll probably all
Nice.
get books again this year.
No.
Well,
All right.
Franz, dude, thank you so much.
No problem.
Have an amazing night, dude.
You too. I'll talk to you some other time. If not,
Yeah,
I hope you come to California in November. But if not, I completely understand, and hopefully I'll come see you sometime during the season.
for sure. Yeah, if it's not November, it'll definitely be soon. I'm working it out with a bunch of people who are there right now, so
Yeah.
it'll happen.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
All right.
Have a great night.
See you later,
Ciao, buddy.
man.
Later.